Okay, welcome back. This is Coach Sparks with another Unreal Engine 4 tutorial. We left off on our AI boss character, so this will be part 2, just a follow-up from part 1, where we set up our character in his animation blueprint to get him functioning and able to move. So next step is we're going to set a couple of controls here, and we're going to set up the event graph. So one thing we want to do is go to the boss, or this component right here, and over where it says in your details panel where it says auto possess AI, instead of placed in world, we're going to change that to placed in world or spawned. So if we choose to put this character in the world somewhere, it will work, and if we decide to spawn it, which is what we're going to try to do, it will work either way. So we're going to do that, and then we'll go to character movement, and we're going to slow down its max walk speed here. So we'll click that and change this from 600 to about 400, and that will slow our character down a little bit so our character can actually escape and get away from him, so he won't run as fast as our player character does. You can set this to whatever you wish, but we're going to set it here to test this out a little bit. So we'll just compile that real quick and say those changes. We'll go to the event graph, and we're going to set up some nodes here to have our character look for our player character and chase him down, or at least move to him initially and then be able to attack him later. So we're going to do this, we're just going to create a custom event. So we're just going to add a custom event here, and we're going to call this custom event. Click it right here, change it to seek player. We'll go underscore player. Okay, and what we want to do here is we want to basically add a node called move AI. So we're just going to right click and type in move AI. So it's going to be called move AI 2. And it's going to be this node right here, and we're just going to take our seek player node, and we're going to plug this execute pin into right here, and that will tell our AI character to move. And then we're going to the pawn reference should be this character itself, so we can just type in self, and we'll get a reference to self here, and we'll plug that into the pawn. Move this up a little bit. And then the target actor is going to be our player character. So we'll just right click and type get player character. And we'll just, since we only have one player character, we'll just plug this value into the target actor right here. The exceptions to radius, we can set this up a little bit higher, to something, say 100 initially. We can always change this later. And the next thing we want to do is we want to set a slight delay. So we'll just come over here and type in delay, and we'll just take this delay right here, set for like 0.2 seconds, which for this purpose will be fine. And we're just going to plug all three of these into this so that no matter what happens here, this delay will fire, or will hold up the intent before it executes the next thing. And then right here, we're just going to call off here, and we're going to call our seek player. So the custom event we just did there, we're going to call this function. So this is pretty much all we have to do to set this up. And what this will do, this will actually be the loop. So we can comment this, and we can call this seek player character loop. So what this will do is we're telling it a custom event so that it will tell our AI to move to a certain location, and the pawn references itself, and the target that it wants to go find is our player character. So it's going to find where our player character is in the world and target our player character, and then it's going to give a slight delay, and then it's going to rerun this whole scenario here. So that will just loop through, and we'll always be constantly looking for our player in this situation. The other thing we need to do is we need to add an event. So we'll just kind of go right up here. We're going to add an event, begin play. So we'll do an event begin play. So when our level starts, we're going to first of all pull up here, and we're going to add a delay. So whether our character starts being placed or spawned, we want this to pause, and I'm going to set this to about 1 second. So when our character spawns, he'll wait about 1 second before he starts to run this loop. And to get him to run that loop, we're just going to go here, and we're going to say seek player. And so right there will be our seek player function right here. So it will run this path here. It will tell it to seek the player, and it will run down here, and it will do this. So this will actually begin that process. So and then this will actually run this loop. So that's pretty much all we need to do for this blueprint right now. So we're just going to compile that, and we can close this out. Now I've already added a Nav Mesh bounds volume, and that's so that our AI character will have a place to run around or know where it can actually run and maneuver. So you have to add one of these, and the way you would do that is you would come right over to this box right here, and you would just type in Nav Mesh, and you'll see it's right here, Nav Mesh bounds volume. You would drag that into your level, and then you just scale it up to fit the size of your level or the area that you want your AI character to be able to move to. Now, to toggle this on and off to see where that is actually possible, is you just press the P key, and that will turn that green Nav Mesh on and off. So we'll turn it off for now. Now I have my player start right here, so my character will actually spawn right here. So I'm going to have to add a couple things to get our AI character to spawn, and then to be able to chase us down. So the first thing I'm going to need is a target point for us to reference as a spawning point. So this target point, I'm just going to drag it out here in the level somewhere, and we're just going to drop it down to the ground. And to drop it down to the ground, is up here, you just will be able to press the N key, and that'll drop it down to the nearest place there. So we're going to spawn our character about there. And another thing that I want to do is to trigger this being spawned is we want to add a simple trigger box. So we'll just do this box trigger right here. So we're just going to drag this out. So when we go and we hit this box trigger, and to get it down to the bottom so it's not floating in midair, you just would press that, and let's kind of move it out here a little bit, and press the N key. That'll snap it down to our terrain here, and we'll have this trigger box right here. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that over here in our details panel, if we can expand this a little bit, is we want to currently, just so we can test that, we want it to be visible. We could scale it up and things, and actually in your game you wouldn't want it to be seen in your game. You just set it in a location where you could trigger it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our level blueprint for this level, and we're going to add these references to these 2 points here. So you go to the blueprints tab right here, and you would choose open level blueprint, and it pops up here. And since we have that trigger box already selected, we can we're going to go right here, right click, and you'll see it says we can add a reference, but we want to add an event for our trigger box too, and it needs to be a collision event. So when we overlap this, that it will trigger this event to happen. So we're going to add on actor begin overlap, and you'll see it says for that trigger box, and that's the only one we have in here right now. Another thing we need to do right quick is come in here and we want to select our target point right here, our target point. Then we go back to our level blueprint and we can right click and we can just create a reference to this target point. Okay, so we're going to need this. This is the location where we're going to spawn our character. So what we want to do is we want to kind of drag off of this pin right here, and we're going to call a node called spawn AI from class. So just type in spawn, it should come up here, spawn AI from class, and we're going to get this function box right here. And then right here under pawn class, it asks us which class we want to, and our character we want to spawn is our boss 2 character right here. So we're going to choose that. And then we've got to get a location to be able to spawn him. So we're going to use this target point, but the blue pin will not plug into this blue pin or this yellow pin here, so this vector pin. So we're going to have to get a node called get actor location. So we can go here, get actor location, and that will give us the location of this target point here, and we can simply plug this in here, and that will pretty much be what we need to do, and that will allow our character to be spawned. We could go in there and test that. So let's go, if we test that, then he should spawn, and then the next thing we're going to do, he should actually start moving towards our character. So let's compile this real quick and kind of go out here and test this in our level, see what happens. So here's our character. And can't really see our trigger box. Let's go back and check that real quick. So right here we need to make sure we uncheck actor hidden in game, so when we actually play the game we can actually see it. So there, now we can see our trigger box. We can kind of run over here and our AI character should spawn somewhere over there. So we can click it and you'll see that he stands there, and then now he starts coming. And you can see as long as I'm standing in this trigger box, it just keeps spawning and keeps coming and moving towards me. So if we only want one character, we can do a quick fix on that to be able to adjust that spawn. So what we can do here to only have one character spawn real quick instead of just multiples is we can just drag out right here and just do a do once node. So we can do a do once node in between here, and basically that will spawn this character one time and then stop. So we can do that just for the purpose of testing this. So we're going to play one more time, and now this time we find our trigger box, kind of go down here, turn so we can see him spawn. He spawns one time and then he comes after me, he delays a second and then he comes after me. So that's all there is to that. Getting your character set up and good to go. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.